Hello, my name is Erik. Welcome to Fine Mathematics. This is our continued conversation on executive functions, on environment, organization. Now, the ideas I mentioned in the last videos we're going to take and apply to individual areas now of the room. So I assume we have the desk up, you have your bed up, and I'm just going to kind of go through things to kind of think about, once again, function first to make life easier for the student. And these may seem trivial, but countless times with students, even just recently, within the last week or so, these inefficiencies get in the way of work, and they don't get in the way of like 5-10 minutes, they get in the way of a whole session or a whole day or days due to not having things in place which are very simple to do. So let's start with the desk. The first thing you want to do with the desk is just keep it clean. Some kind of writing area that's big enough to be able to write, have a book set up, a computer set up, and at minimum a desk lamp so there's at least a spotlight right on the desk. You want to make sure that there's no other conflicting devices or conflicting ideas. The biggest one on the extreme side would be having an Xbox or some kind of game console on there that's just baiting the student to want to play while they're trying to work. That's not going to work. Now I know computers, students can play on the computers and stuff too, but at least that will be turned off and they'll be using the computer for something else. Keep it clean. As I said in the last video, it's easier to maintain and wipe because it will end up getting dusty just from use. Have everything ready to go. You want a nice clean desk so it's easy to work. And you know, if you happen to be a content creator or an influencer type, the desk may end up being in the shot. You don't want a cluttered desk. You want a nice clean desk that gives a professional atmosphere, and it should be professional regardless if it's on camera or not. This is where the student, you're going to come in and work, and it wants to look professional, as they say. So make sure you have the things that you need for the desk, and everything has a spot. So when you're done, it can just go right back. So when you come, it's ready for the next thing. Now the next aspect is supplies. You're going to need supplies. Now, even in this digital world, some supplies of the old days are becoming more obsolete, but you still need supplies. You need pens, paper, staples, all that kind of stuff. What I recommend, if you have a desk with drawers, that would be the priority first. Make sure everything is organized. Don't just throw everything in one drawer. Throw in the pens in one spot. The papers are organized. Put everything in a nice space. That way, it's easy to tell when the supplies have run out. And that way you know when time to fill. And when you're working, if you happen to need a pen or you run out of paper, it's ready to go right there. You don't have to go searching around. I can't tell you how many times this has been a problem with students because we've spent 20 minutes, half an hour looking for supplies, or the student didn't finish an assignment because they didn't have it, because everything is at the last minute. The idea with this is to prep the environment so it's always ready to go. And I will talk about this again too in the next section when we go to tools of the trade and supplies needed. But wherever you're going to have your supplies for school, and that could also bleed into work too, have them easily accessible from the desk. If you have a desk with no drawers, maybe a closet, or you have it in the same room, so you don't have to go all the way to the other end of the house to do it. The idea is to make it efficient. This is the work area, and this is where it's all going to get done. Now, another thing to do, and this, once again, most people probably have, but maybe we can just optimize it a little bit, are surge protectors. Surge protectors are nice for electronic devices. If there happens to be a spike in the electrical grid, it's not going to fry out your electrical device. That's number one. But another thing it also has, it allows someone to plug in multiple devices in one location, regardless if there's only one outlet in the area. So what I recommend to students, because most people are going to have a computer, some kind of maybe a tablet, and a cell phone. And I can't tell you how many times I've worked with students that were working, but were racing under the clock to finish something because the computer's about to die, because they didn't charge it for whatever reasons. So what I do is have the surge protector near your desk. Have all your cords that you need for your computer right there. And you can even buy like little a sticky thing that it holds the cords. So that way the cords are ready to go. And then I will mention this again later in part of executive function discussions about techniques and systems. But that way you can charge your computer whenever you're at the end of every day. So whenever you grab your computer, your cell phone, whatever it may be, it's always ready to go for the day. And then it becomes a routine, becomes a behavior. You don't have to think about it, and we just completely eliminate that problem. So a surge protector near the desk is always great to have, because that way you always have something to plug in. If you have a new device, there's always a cord ready to go, and you don't have to look for it as you are starting to work. Another thing that I'd recommend for students in particular is a bag deposit. Now, what I mean by that is whatever your bag is that you take to school. This can be like for your books, your computer, whatever it may be. It could be a purse, a backpack, whatever it is that you use. Find a location in your office or in your work area that's where the bag goes every day. And it can even be near the desk. That way, if you're taking your computer to school, you could put the computer in there, even if it's in a case for the most part, and you could charge it while it's in the backpack. The idea behind this is to develop a system, and I'm not going to go into too much, once again, this will come later, but that way at the end of every day, everything is always ready to go. Your bag goes here and everything goes there, and when it's time to go to school the next day, it's all ready to go, as opposed to everywhere. And I've done this personally over the years, particularly with my wallet and keys. Years ago, I would always misplace them, until finally I got a box that now I put in my wallet, my keys, every time I come home. And I've been doing this for years now, and there'll be times I come home and I forget where my keys are and my wallet are, and I go check the box, and out of habit and a routine, they're right there. I may have forgotten to put them there, but it's become a habit now, and that's where they go, and I don't lose that stuff anymore. Same kind of idea we're applying here with the bag deposit. Decorating your environment. I mentioned this in the last video. Keep in mind the ease of maintenance. Have your environment that says you, that makes it your vibe, that you feel pleasant. It's a nice place to come and spend time and get work done and or sleep. But also don't creep in on the functionality. Don't creep in on put everything on your desk because it looks nice, but now you have nowhere to put your book and your computer and it's time to work. And then you end up skating out to somewhere else because you don't want to mess up your desk. And it's going to be harder to clean as well too. So just keep these things in mind. So once again, just to reiterate, organization, function first, we apply that to the desk. Minimalist point of view, particularly on the desk. Don't cross streams. Don't put anything else on the desk that could be luring your attention away from the work you have to do. Keep it simple, minimalistic, because it's easy to maintain. Supplies. Have an area where all your school supplies are going to go, or your work supplies. Ideally in the same room, ideally in the desk or right next to the desk so that it's easy to go, and those should be organized well between whatever the different items are. That way it's easy to tell if you're needing to resupply or something like that. Third, surge protectors. I recommend one near the desk. That way you can plug all your devices in and it's always ready to go, as well as you can charge your devices before the next day. A bag deposit area, it doesn't have to be near your desk. It should be, because that's kind of when you're going to wrap up the day. That way you prep everything before you leave the day, and then you go to school and work or whatever you're going to do, and everything is ready to go, including your devices are charged. And lastly, when you decorate, keep in mind maintenance. At some point you're going to have to clean. What's going to be easier to clean? Do I have a lot of little things everywhere, or just the stuff I really need with some nice decorations, but then it's easy to clean? Because you want to keep your room clean, the environment clean. When it's clean, you're more conducive to want to be there and work and get things done, and you'll just feel better. Once again, thank you for watching Fine Mathematics, our continued conversation on executive functions, and remember, enjoy the process.